and welcome to Dabbling in Journals, and today I'm going to be doing an update in my little Hobonichi. I also have some Baum Kuchen items that I purchased to show you. I actually purchased them from mizopaper.co.uk in the UK, which means I was able to get some little bits that I've never been able to get from Baum Kuchen themselves because of the international postage, etc. Not worth it for small items. So I'll show you those at the end of the video. And can I also say a huge thank you for all the ideas and comments in response to my last video. I found them so helpful, and we'll come to those in a moment. Now, if you saw my last Hobonichi video, you'll know that I decided that I was no longer going to use this as my daily planner. I felt like I didn't really need to, because all I was doing was little to-do lists and a tarot list, and I was keeping my appointments here, but I wasn't carrying it because I didn't want to carry this alongside my traveler's notebook. So I am now planning my day-to-day planning in my traveler's notebook, and I am using this for my goal planning because at the beginning of the year I identified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals. I'm tracking my health goal in my traveler's notebook in an insert there. I have a passport traveler's notebook where I'm tracking my finances, but that left me with my YouTube goals, my home goals, my creativity goals, and my family and friends goals. So that is what I decided I would track in here. So let's see how I'm getting on. Now, this was the last week that I was using it in the old way, and I really didn't like how these pages came out. Had a lot of trouble in the video, and the pen never worked on the washi paper properly. Didn't like how it looked, didn't like the beige with the purple, and I was running out of love for it because this was the point at which I decided I was going to change its purpose. So I don't think I did anything in these 2 days. So I've just written a quotation, which is very apt given my video yesterday, because it says, for every minute spent organising, an hour is earned. So I thought that was so cool. I did a little collage here to match the colours. And I did another collage here because I just wasn't using it for those few days, and if I don't use it on a day, I just either do a quotation or a little collage. This is my March page, which I haven't done, so I'm going to do that in a moment. But as you can see, I've now changed it so I am tracking finances. Well, I do track those in my passport, but I just was reminding myself to update that. I'm tracking creativity, and my goal there was to find a new coloured pencil YouTube channel for inspiration, which I did, and her channel is called Gemma Chambers Art. She makes beautiful, beautiful coloured pencil drawings or paintings. I'm never quite sure which you're supposed to call them. So that was really inspiring for me to find her channel. And then I had some family goals here, and I've decorated it with coffee sticker from Louise, and a coffee sticker from Suzanne, and some sticky club washi. Carried on, I had something I wanted to do with a friend here. I had a friend who's bought some new puppies, 2 little border collie puppies, so I wanted to go over and meet her puppies. And then here I had a YouTube goal, and that was to use the small booklet at the back of my notebook. So I've got one of these little small additional booklets, and I decided to use this for when people in the comments ask me either to do something or have an idea that I might want to use. So I'm just keeping a note. So for example, Lynn wanted me to show how I put my inserts into my traveler's notebook, which I've done that one. I can cross that off. She also would like me to show how I use different inserts for different things, so that's on my list. Brenda reminded me that I had not done my focus of the week for ages, so I went back to that. Jackie suggested that I clean my paintbrush when I'm painting on some scrap paper that I could then use in my journal as sort of like homemade journaling paper, which I thought was a cool idea. And then, oh yes, another Jackie, or was it the same Jackie? I don't know, it might have been the same Jackie. Also suggested that I check out Susie's Craftery to look at her use of a letter back, and that was something that she suggested in another video. And if you don't know what a letter back is, then Google it, and they're gorgeous. So that was my goal for that day. Completely lost my place. Where was I? Here. Oh, and this day I decided that I wanted to start making use of my little Stillman and Burn beige paper sketchbook, which I hadn't even started. So I did that. So I was really pleased with myself. And in fact, it was this little one. It's this little one here that I've got in my Chic Sparrow Emma pocket size notebook, and I hadn't started it, and I still couldn't pluck up the courage to do the first page. But I have done some drawings that I sort of felt comfortable with, because I did some fruit, some cherries, in case you can't recognise them, cherries and blueberries, and a raspberry and a strawberry, and I've got room to do another one there, though it's smudging a little bit, but I'll be able to rub that off. And here I just started sketching out my art supplies, but I got interrupted and I haven't finished, but at least I've made a start on it, so hopefully I'll keep going with that now. And then I had a family goal, which was to sort out all my son's clothes and order some in larger sizes because he's growing so fast. More creativity and family goals, and I should say that I'm just decorating this with some stickers and washi tape. I did a collage this day and I really love this one. I love this pet tape. I just got a sample of it and I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. And this little sticker says, "Life is a collection of moments." So I thought that was nice. And then on Tuesday, which was yesterday, I had this idea which was inspired by Beth, and no, I wasn't offended, Beth. And we've had a little chat about it, and it was inspired by a comment she made, and I decided that it's time to transform my studio into a more organized and enjoyable space. So I put for my YouTube goal yesterday to make a video sharing the mess and asking for your advice, and I couldn't believe how much good advice I got from you all. So on today's page I started listing all of the ideas that you gave me in response to that video, and I am certainly going to be taking all of them into account. And I found it so useful because you just thought of things that I wouldn't have thought of. So that's really cool. So I've got a list there of all the ideas from your comments, and it's not too late to make a comment if you haven't yet. More, they went over the page. So I'm actually using days I haven't even got to yet, but it's fine because I'm just going to use the next few pages to plan this project. And I'm not going to have time for much else if I'm planning to completely refurbish my art room. I've got the planning to do. I've got sorting out to do. I've got to get rid of rubbish. I've got to order things. There's just going to be so much planning to do that I thought, well, I'll just use this. This is my home and creativity goals being addressed here, so I can just use my pages like that to plan it out. And I thought, oh, that would be really cool. So yes, I've got all your ideas plus Louise's organizational frenzy ideas. She's given me 3 steps. First of all, I'm to remove every single item from my room. And then step 2, put your ruthless hat on. I don't know if I've got one. I'm going to try and look for one. And don't keep anything that makes you feel guilty for not using it or loving it. There's no point stashing it in a cupboard. You'll still know it's there. And then that made me laugh. Step 3, organise things in groups of what you use the most to the least and store in the most convenient place to the least. And I thought that was a really good tip. So I'm going to plan that all out before I even start ordering things so that I know what I want to order and what I want to use and so on. And talking about ordering things, somebody suggested that I look for second-hand items, which I thought was a fantastic idea. And I will be certainly using that tip. And I'm not going to read out all of the tips. They're all in the comments on yesterday's video if you're interested. But I will obviously be referring to them as I use them, as I refurbish my room with you. So all I've got left to do now is do something with this March page, which I haven't used. And then I will show you my little Baum Kuchen haul that I got from misopaper.co.uk. And can I just say that I ordered that before I decided to refurbish my room, which is a bit of a pity because I could have used the money on my room, but never mind. I've bought some lovely items and I'm looking forward to sharing them with you. But first, I want to just decorate this little page. So what I thought I would do is see if I can just do it using my little mini kit that I put together. And it's just got a few items in, and the only extra thing that I need is a cloth for cleaning my brush. So I just thought, as it's springtime and I've done some yellow here, I would just sketch a really easy, I hope, a really easy sketch of a plant pot full of spring flowers. So I'm just going to start by painting, just drawing. It's such an easy thing to draw, really. You just want 2 angles coming down and then a little curve at the bottom. Now that is wonky, isn't it? Because I've got my book at an angle, but luckily in my little kit, I do have an eraser. In fact, I've got that eraser might be easier to use. So let me have another go at drawing I find this is the hardest thing to draw. I like these, like, what do they call them? Convex lines. And then the top of my flower pot, I'm going to turn it upside down because I want to try at least match that convex line that I've already done. Once I've done that, I just need one more. Oh, actually, see, I'm always making mistakes. I'm pressing a bit harder than I would normally because I want you to be able to see it, I guess. And there we go. And that's going to be the top of my flower pot. So all of you that keep telling me you can't draw, you could have done that. I'm sure you could have done that. And so I'm going to leave that part of the flower pot because all my plants are going to cover that up in a moment. So I've done my little drawing and I'm going to get out my teeny tiny watercolor palette. Here we go. And I've got a watercolor brush here. It's got some water in it, luckily. And so move that slightly out of the way and let's colour in this flower pot. So I'm just going to start, and this colour is quinacridone burnt orange, which is just so happens is perfect for a flower pot. And already I haven't made use of the tip to get a piece of paper to wipe my brush on. But I will in future. And I'm just going around the edges first, like colouring in really. And I'm not saying this is a brilliant watercolour painting. This is just a quick doodle sketch that I enjoy doing to make my notebooks look pretty, or pretty in my opinion. Do you think whether or not something is pretty is simply a matter of opinion? Or is there a fact to the matter? Bit of philosophy for you. And what I'm going to do is just do a really pale wash in the middle, because what I will want to do is for it to be slightly paler in the middle and then dark around the outside. Now, while I wait for that little layer to dry, I'm going to do the top, which is fine because it's the same colour, so it won't matter if they bleed together. Okie dokie. And again, I just want to leave a little bit of white space, there we go, in the middle, just to make it have some dimension. And what I'll do with the next layer is do it darker around the edges so that it looks more round, because things that are further away from you look dark and things that are nearer to you look light. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, it looks like I've already got some green on my mixing space, which is handy. So let's put in, I'm just going to mix them all together, see what colour green we get. So I want to make some leaves. That looks, I'm going to put a tiny bit of my yellow ochre in there just to dull it down a bit because it looks a bit bright. Natural greens don't really look all that bright, do they? Although some do, I suppose. Depends where you live. Tropical plants are much brighter. And can you believe it's March here and it is snowing? I just can't believe it. And to do the, I'm just doing a really quick sketchy thing here. So I'm just going to sort of sketch in some rough leaf shapes like so. They don't have to be like a real leaf yet. Just sort of organic. I'm trying to get more quick and, what's the word, loose with my watercolor sketching. So I'm just putting in these light colour first. Do you think this is actually going to look like leaves in a flower pot? No clue. I'm telling you what I do. It sounds like I'm trying to teach you when I don't have a clue myself what I'm doing, really. I'm just sharing what I do in case you're interested in having a go too. And if you've got any tips for me, you know me, always happy to have tips. Haven't left much room for my flowers, have I? I'll have to put a few on the outside. So while I'm waiting for my leaves to dry, I'm going to go back to my plant pot and I'm going to do it a bit darker around the edges. I do find it really difficult to write and draw in this position under my camera. So I need to think of a solution for that. And I don't want it to be too, I want it to look rustic, so it doesn't have to look too perfect. So while I wait for that bit to dry, because I think that's what you have to do with watercolour, you just sort of, you pop about until you've sort of got, you work on one bit and then while that bit's drying you work on another bit. That's what I'm trying to say. And so I'm going to do bright yellow flowers to match. Well, they're not that bright yellow, are they? Well, I'm going to do bright yellow flowers. Maybe I'll make them darker in a minute. So I'm going to put a flower in some of the gaps. So they're sort of like the little buds coming out at the bottom. And then I'm going to put some flowers up here. I have no clue what sort of flowers I think these are supposed to be. Primroses. I don't know what shape primrose is. Do you know what I should have done? I should have got a reference photo. I should have got a photo of a pot of yellow flowers and then I could have like copied it. I'm just kind of doing really rough leaf shapes. Petal shapes, I should say. Let's have one coming out here and a bit more here. Okay, I think I've got a clip in the way, haven't I? This was a really bad idea, by the way, putting brass clips on this really thin paper. They're damaging the paper, but never mind, too late now. Now I'm going to get a really dark brown, which has now got yellow in it. So it won't be quite so dark, and I'm going to go a little shadow under the rim of my pot, like so. Blend it in a bit. Do you think that's dark enough? I'm going to put a bit more. And I think I might put a little bit of the brown up there, just to make that look like it's going round behind the plant. And to blend the edges, just wipe off your brush and blend them in if you want to, if you're fussy. And yeah, I think that one I did better than this one, didn't I? Never mind. Okay, starting to like it. Maybe a little bit more of the rustic colour. Oh, perhaps that's too much. Okay. See, now I've done that, my brown isn't dark enough in my shadow, is it? Okay. I'm having a bit of fun. Now I need to make a green again. So I need a darker green. How do I make a dark green with these colours? Let's go with blue, obviously, yellow. What if I put a bit of the, or maybe this one. If I put that in, yeah, that's going to make my green. So a bit more blue, a bit more, and a bit more yellow. Waiting for this to get green, it will. And there, I've got a dark green. So that was mixing the yellow, the blue, and the quinacridone burnt orange. And I'm just going to sort of add a bit of depth to my leaves. And just doing really loose. I just want to do an impression, not like any desire to make them look like real leaves. Like realistic leaves is what I mean. Just so that anybody looking at it thinks, oh, it's a picture of a plant pot, and then I'm happy. Okay. And now I want to spruce up my little flowers a little bit. So I think one thing I'm going to do is make an orange colour, running out of mixing space. I might want more of that green in a bit. So I'm going to just make orange here. And get my paint a bit dirty, but it doesn't matter because you can just wash it off. Once it's dry, it'll just wash off. So I want a bit more yellow. Actually looks like that terracotta colour again, doesn't it? And I just want to put some little sort of middle bits to my flowers, you know, like they have. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing down here, just getting rid of some of that white. What do we think? Well, it's no work of art, is it? But does it look like a little flower pot? Up to a point. Not that pleased with it. But let's see what it looks like when it's dried. So that was my little attempt at doing a quick doodle sketch, watercolor sketch, a loose one of a plant pot. And when it's dry, I'll probably titivate it a bit. Because I always do that. Just can't leave them alone. Right, moving that out of the way, let's look at the purchase that I made from misopaper.co.uk. I have already opened it, but I will show you exactly what they sent to me, what was in the package. So here we go. So this first item, as you can see, I've just bought these little items. This first item is a pin. Here we go. It says here now with you. And that pin is destined to go on the front of this little pen case. And I think that's going to look really cool. I love the sentiment, here now with you. And it says here now together with you. So I will keep the little card and cut that piece off to use in my journal somewhere. So that's that one. And then I bought this. I've wanted this for, I can't believe how many years. I just love it. And this one says, because I believe, at the top. Oh, what's in there? This one says here now together with you. Oh, it's a sticker. Oh, that's interesting. There was a little sticker in there. Is there a little sticker in this one? No, this one is just on a single card. This one is wrapped with a piece of elastic. And there was this little here now together with you sticker, which is rather cool. And this is destined to live on here. So I will attach all these things shortly and I will show you how they look. And then the next thing I purchased, I've only bought 4 things, I think, and then some stickers to get me to free postage. This is a patch, and this is destined to go on my Superior Labour small bag. So I am going to stick it on there, and then I think I'll sew. I don't know if I'll be able to get in to sew at the bottom, but I'm certainly going to sew it just maybe with a few stitches, just to make sure that it doesn't fall off, because that would be really sad. Then the last little item is this one, which says, again, here now together with you. Is that just what it says on their cards? So that's another little pin. Now, interestingly, I already have this pin because I bought it when I bought this bag from Baum Kuchen. This one doesn't look quite as blue as that one, and because I want to use it on my Travelers Company collaboration superior labour bag, I might swap them and put the slightly bluer coloured one on here, and then I'll put this one on here. And if you're wondering why I didn't buy this that I wanted so much when I purchased this bag, it was because it was out of stock. So I missed that opportunity. So I'm going to pop those all on the things and then I'll show you shortly. But before I do that, let's just have a look at the freebies. Oh, no, there was one more thing. I bought these, and that was just mainly to bring the purchase price up to free postage. And I thought they were absolutely gorgeous. They are by Mindwave, and they're just this really tiny little people stickers, which I thought would look really nice in my Traveller's Notebook monthly insert, and perhaps also in my vertical insert. So really pleased with those. Then, as always, we have all these freebies. They're so generous with how many they give you. I've got the little postcard. I do already have that one, but I don't mind having another. And then always the cute little paper clips, which I keep. And then what have we got here? Is this going to show on my desk? It's like a little cutout piece, so that's unusual. Then of course we have a pile of pet tape. Look at that one. Really lovely, delicate, soft blues and greys. Really like that. Oh, and more of these flowers, but this time in a blue colourway. I've got them in a pink one. I have a few little blue ones to use, which is lovely. And then the next one, let me get these out of the way. Oh, these are really green, aren't they? Look at the little stamp at the top. Some berries and some green leaves. Oh, they're figs. Somebody gave me a little baby fig tree for my garden, but I got a horrible feeling that I've managed to kill it already because it's not showing any signs of life. I don't know if it should be by now. And here we have this one. That's funny. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way. That's cool. They're nice. They're like little Polaroids. Really pretty. Oh, love, love, love this one. Just be yourself. You are wonderful. Oh, this is full of affirmations that are good for self-care. But they're really pretty, aren't they? Like that. And we've got another brighter one that looks like a film strip. Or should it go that way? That one feels like it should go that way. And that one feels like it should go that way. Some lovely vibrant colours. Oh, they may look nice with some of the pet tape that Louise gifted to me recently. And then we've got this one with girls on. Always happy to have some more girl stickers because I use them so much. I do not know why I love them so much, but I do. And then we have some little bits of paper, which is always nice. Some little bits from a paper pad, presumably. Oh, look at the cats. Are they cats? They're like princess cats. Oh, and then we've got a girl riding on a swan. That's really pretty. Oh, this is my favourite. I just always love the rustic colours. There's somebody chopping wood outside a log cabin. So those were my little freebies. What I shall do now is attach all my new pins, and I'll just quickly show you how they look. Okay, so I have popped all my items on. The interesting thing was this pin that I thought wasn't blue is in fact blue. It just looked different when it was on the card. I don't know, maybe it was just my eyes playing me tricks. So I now have one on here and I have one on here because I thought the blue colour would look really lovely with this blue grey Travelers Company Superior Labour pouch. Really love that. And then I have put this pin on my little pouch. Really love how that looks too. I mean, do any of you get excited about pins? Is it just me? Am I mad? It can't just be me or they wouldn't sell them. And then my bag, I've stuck my little patch on because they're already sticky. You just peel the back off. But I will sew it just to make it extra secure. And look at those. They look so lovely together. So that's that one. So 1, 2, 3. And the last thing was the little charm, which I have put on my traveller's notebook from Chic Sparrow in the Emma Darcy leather, Austin leather, sorry. And it did come with a white string, but I changed it to this camel colour because I wasn't all that keen on the white. And now I've got this beautiful brass charm on here. I think a brass sketching pencil would be perfect here, but given that I am doing at my art room and I'm not going to be purchasing anything else other than things for my art room, that will have to go on my wish list. So I hope that you found something enjoyable in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.